Monster Healer. Prayer on Our Knees? Written by Zachary Cooper. Written for Lit2 Animate. Story based out of Dungeons & Dragons. 1. I hit the floor again in pain and disappointment. Evete, my loving sister, smacks me yet again. She spits out at me, like I need to hear repeated.
Your existence is for Lolth and family.
A spider crawls across my shoulder from the stone floor, to pinch at the blood that pools in the creases of my cheek. It takes a good bit of self-control not to swipe it away. She would put marks all over me for that. I want to get off my knees, and do anything else. My loving and kind sister smacks me for the 100th time, for being jittery, and impatient, unable to sit still, and pray to Lolth, for superiority. At the last second, I twist my head so that I don't crush the spider as my face hits the ground again.
Siclar, you are a weak male, and will do the family's bidding. Any objection, as usual, will be met with punishment. House Zilandraxo will not accept failure like your weak family did.
As a weak male, as she liked to remind me, I was just another healer for the family. Taken from my birth family, I do what is required. They tell me I show some promise in the art though, and I was spared long ago, initially to be a slave, but was privileged to live in a royal house of the dark world, in the dark city of Salicomb. Evete, my knees hurt, why am I praying here yet again? Does Lolth even pay attention to me, when I pray?
Your place is not to ask questions, filth. If I wanted your opinion, I'd give it to you. Kneel and pray. If she is not paying attention to you, you are not praying hard enough. Lolth be merciful to you, even though you know she won't, if you fall asleep again while praying. Can she not hear you? Then pray harder, and stop moving, you are irritating me.
Evete is the most potent of my adopted family, which makes it a fun time when I am forced to pray yet again for the day, while she is also in the chapel. Family power and wealth were among of the main prayers that were ingrained into my daily routine. Not that they knew my prayers, it was considered bad form to listen in on prayers to the gods. Lolth likely wouldn't care. Among the thousands if not millions of those that worship her, little ol' me didn't make so much of a blip on her radar, at least I hoped. Every once in a while, when I was pretty sure that no one was listening in, on my thoughts and prayers to the Spider Queen, I prayed for the downfall of my adopted house. This still wouldn't really be a huge thing, she hears that a lot I am sure. In Salicomb there were plenty of houses that take in, aka, kidnap, adopted family members after destroying their home, and ruin their lives. My knees supporting my weight go numb, and I lose the feeling in my legs most of the time after about 15 minutes or so, but getting up during the couple of hours of twice daily prayer, when noticed, often even put the family dark elves in the hot seat, let alone me. Those hours take up most of my morning before the first meal, followed by training, the occasional sacrifice, and going out on the job usually takes up the rest of my days. I do get my spells from Lolth, but that sort of thing is just on autopilot. The gods don't pay that much attention to those who worship them, but if she does start paying attention, you are in huge trouble. Before Snatched Up, I did worship some other god, but I can barely remember after these years. Not that it was long ago, I just had it smacked out of me. Lolth is a cruel goddess, but if I chose another, I would have been killed. Another wouldn't be tolerated in this house, or through most of the city. I risk a lively joke. Evete, why wouldn't the Spider Queen be just as happy, if we prayed sitting on a relaxing mushroom bed? Or, even on a sandy dirt ground instead of hard rock? I get another slap to the side of my head, dropping me to the ground.
Your suffering makes her pay attention more, you useless male. You pray for family power, because if we don't get it, you will be killed with the rest of us if the other houses realize what we've been up to, for decades.
Conspiratorially, I ask? Oh, really? What has my adopted family been doing all of this time? Knowing that avoiding the next smacking that I deserved would have made things worse, I take another smack to the face. I feel the bruise warming through my cheek. Evete hisses out.
Don't be so stupid.
Not that praying for attention has stopped this, or most other families, over the centuries do so. The Spider Queen is a mistress of chaos, and to our knowledge is one of the few gods who roam the material plane often. Get her attention, and your family would get extreme scrutiny from her. She'd either give you extreme power, which would be highly unlikely, or rip the whole family to shreds without explanation. One of these days, Maybe when my adopted house is wrecked, or betrayed, some of the usual, I'd eventually get to worship another less chaotic god, but to think such things is blasphemy. So I pray for less destructive things than getting her attention for the family. The sad part is, she would think that sort of thing would be hilarious. Most of the time I just pray for the spells I need to memorize, because I recently cast them on the job, or a regular vengeful day of someone to go heal. That is the job, I get out of the city and heal others. Our family gets hired to heal those who can't do it themselves. You think dragons just magically heal? They don't, they hire families like my adopted one to heal them. Usually, they try to get it done for free, but it isn't allowed for most. Some powerful dragons can get away with it, but often want to keep a good contracted deal with us. Some paladin adventuring party meets them in battle, and tears open a dozen wounds. If they still survive, do you think their muscles just melt back together? No, we have contacts, spies, and the breaking of a communication stone. It is a sort of lifeline that we give clients to call us if they are majorly damaged. Some have clerics who can heal, so they use them, but more powerful poisons, loss of limb, or life, they call us. Of course, the loss of an important minion costs quite a bit for them, but that is a service we provide. I'm not powerful enough yet to cast Raise Dead, but I'll hopefully get there eventually if I don't get myself killed first. Breaking the stone is under contract to either save a client, or heal them after a battle. If they have a contract to heal them after battle and they are still under attack, it is not something to change on the fly. A usual guard watches my back when I have to travel around the Underdark on the job. His name is Uprota, I call him Yup, for short. He is a scout and a pretty good one, but he screwed things up with a matron, and hates that he has to guard me when I go on dangerous trips. Word to the wise, if a matron mother of a major house in a city of the Dark Elves wants you as a mate, you try to survive the terrible time without losing parts, and then hopefully she lets you go after a little while. I should have a bunch of elves helping me, but the house is spread thin, in protection, or that is just the excuse when I ask for more protection when I am out. I often ask for the house steward. Can I have more guards? Yup isn't enough to keep me alive if we run into any other families or any other beasts. The usual answer is,
you will survive with him, if Loth wills it.
Well, good luck to me, she might think it funny to let me die. Today, the steward answers,
don't even joke like that out loud, or in your head. Do you know the paperwork I'd have to fill out if you died? Just don't get caught.
Well, it is obvious to me to never get caught, but I'm not the most stealthy out here, especially in the dark underworld of stone. It is dangerous to leave the house complex, in a small group, let alone the city. One guard is just enough to consider me not important, without a couple of other guards, I'm a simple target. Clerics tend to wear heavier equipment, but the light leather I can wear doesn't clang or screech, a death sentence in the quiet creepiness of the world around us. Not only are the elves a bit off around me, but so are the gods. Coming of age is a ritual for a cleric, and being able to see you as the gods see you is just a bit mean, but we can see how they see us. Since I am forced to worship Loth, I see myself as she sees me, a tiny spider in her massive web. All letters and numbers that she sees in me are shown as webbing in my mind, spinning for me to be able to see where I need improvement. As I close my eyes, like many who worship, train, or cast spells, I see myself as she sees me. Also, as a male, I can't gain divine benefits because she is mean like that, don't tell her I said that. As I close my eyes, I see an unrolling parchment of myself, as Loth would see me. Name, Siclar. Cleric level, 3. Psionicist level, 2. Strength, 14. Dexterity, 12. Constitution, 14. Charisma, 9. Intelligence, 8. Wisdom, 12. Mental strain, 12. Health, 27. Mana, 18. Psionic points, 12. Specialized skills: craft, hide, survival, Underdark, medicine. Favorite equipment: smithing hammer, leather armor, ring of protection +1. Sadly, I don't even like using the smithing hammer as a weapon, but the family won't let me have a proper weapon or armor, and the ring has a sort of branding, with the family crest on it. Without the magic, it would have broken easily already. They tell me to find better, and stop asking for handouts. I also am too poor for the item cost to identify magical things. The family has taken most of the payments on the job, but I'll figure it out one of these days. If anything, I'm worried about keeping my abilities more secretive. Some houses can use some mental strain, fueling powerful abilities, and spells known as psionics. Sort of like me. I don't know if they can detect me somehow or not. If my family knew, they'd either use me more with a lot more strenuous pain, or they would send me on more dangerous tasks. The families who have such abilities are dangerous, so our family usually stays away from them, but if only I could learn, or take items from them to learn things. I am not so powerful as to draw attention to those abilities, but it is unique and I'd love to learn more. It is something you can learn instinctively in the right circumstance, but again, could just as simply get me killed. I'm sure that my faithful protector would truly give me up for some favorable points from the matron whom he denied. True, she asked dozens of males to be her mate, he just didn't jump at the request directly like many more, but that is the way of the matrons. It is a good thing only the gods can see these things. Enemies could find out how protected I am, or how powerful I am. Of course, the Spider Queen would know, but seeing her, I'd already be out of luck. I'm willing to bet it is how they keep track of us, how unique some of us are, only they know. Metal armor is pretty dangerous in the dark, especially with no simple way to clean or oil it, but I am wearing the skin of a lizard, which is harder than my skin, sure, but not so helpful in a fight. I just plan on not being hit. Is that a decent plan? In any case, I've been working on some smithing but not so much. Eventually, if the gods allow, I'll be able to get a few things to make my life a bit better. I don't have a chance in all of the hells to defeat any of my adopted family in a fight, but perhaps, over time, I can orchestrate something. I hear the next job I have is to go heal Grigar, an ogre not too far from home, again.